Welcome to all. In this video we will see about plasmid DNA extraction using alkaline lysis method. The term plasmid is coined by Lederberg in 1952. He used this word to denote all the extra chromosomal heredity determinants. The plasmids are circular and small molecules of DNA that can capable of self-replication by sequence called origin of replication or REC. The plasmids present mostly in prokaryotes and reported in eukaryotic systems such as yeast, which carries 2 micrometer plasmid. In genetic engineering, the gene of interest is combined with plasmid backbone and transferred into E. coli cells for amplification into millions of copies. Then the amplified plasmids are isolated from the E. coli and are used for the transformation into higher organisms or mammalian cells. Hence, isolation of plasmid is important in the event of genetic transformation. Now we will see the basic steps involved in plasmid DNA extraction. The first step is we have to culture the E. coli carrying the plasmid of interest. By nature, plasmids carrying genes of antibiotic resistance and that are used as selecting the E. coli colonies carrying the plasmid only. So that is called as selection markers. As an example, if the plasmid carrying kanamycin resistant genes, the E. coli culture medium is prepared with kanamycin so that only E. coli carrying the plasmid express the resistant gene and they will survive. Other E. coli cells will not survive. And the E. coli cultured in Luria bertani medium are called LB broth, which consisting of 10 gram per liter tryptophan, 5 gram per liter yeast extract, 10 gram per liter sodium chloride, and pH will be approximately 7 to 7.5. The E. coli cells are cultured 12 to 16 hours or we call it as overnight. During this time the colonies multiplied several times and each E. coli cells carrying multiple copies of plasmid inside. And next day we will collect the colonies and centrifuge at high speed and collect the E. coli pellets for plasmid purification. So the pellets are resuspended in resuspension buffer is the next step. Here the buffer consisting of tris HCl, pH 8 and EDTA and glucose. They will helps to maintain the osmotic balance and maintain the pH. Divalent cations or chelating agents minimize the DNA's function. So the DNA integrity will be saved using the resuspension buffer. Next step is alkaline lysis method. So here we add the alkali such as sodium hydroxide at 0.2 normal and detergent such as sodium dodecyl sulfate is added and this lysis applied to mild penetration in the plasma membrane. Keep this for a long period of time. Generally they keep for 5 minutes. Once the lysis is completed, next step is we have to neutralize with acidic pH buffer generally consisting of 5 molar potassium acetate and glacial acetic acid. So once neutralized, it is subjected to centrifugation. The high density organic debris and cell organelles are pelleted and supernatant containing the plasmid will be used for precipitating the plasmid DNA and purification. Next step is precipitation. Here during high speed centrifugation the plasmid DNAs are precipitated from the supernatant. For that purpose we add alcohol such as isopropanol to aggregate the DNA or go for other method of precipitation techniques such as silica chromatography technique so that the plasmids bind tightly with the silica membrane. We will see the protocol for plasmid DNA extraction from E. coli cells. So step 1 is we have to culture the E. coli cells in LB medium contains appropriate selection markers such as ampicillin or kanamycin. The overnight cultured cells are bring to lab, centrifuged at 10,000 rpm for a minute. The pellets are containing E. coli cells and the supernatant are discarded and the pellet is resuspended with 0.2 ml of ice cold resuspension buffer with a micropipette. Along with the resuspended cells, 2 volumes that means 0.4 ml of lysis buffer containing SDS NaOH is added and this time gently mix by inverting 4 or 5 times, and this mixture is kept in ice for 5 minutes. We should not keep it for long time. Only minute holes are formed over the plasma membrane. So after 5 minutes, we add the neutralizing buffer with acidic pH up to 300 microliter. Once the neutralizing buffer is added, thoroughly mix 5 to 10 times by inversion, and the centrifuge the mix at 10,000 rpm for 10 minutes. During this time, the denatured organic debris proteins are precipitated, and the supernatant containing plasmid DNA is carefully transferred to another tube. Now, to precipitate the plasmid DNA, approximately 0.7 volume of ice cold isopropanol is added and kept in room temperature for 5 to 10 minutes. During this time, the organic debris cell organelles are pelleted, and supernatant contains plasmid DNA and some amount of salt and chemicals. After centrifugation, the supernatant is transferred to another vial, and ice cold isopropanol is added up to 0.7 volume of the supernatant. This mixture is mixed by inversion 4 to 5 times and kept in room temperature for 10 minutes so that the DNA molecules are aggregated. Now it is centrifuged at 10,000 rpm for 10 minutes. During this time, the aggregated DNA, that means the plasmid DNA, is pelleted. The supernatant contains salt and some other chemicals. So now the pellet is our plasmid DNA of interest, and it is subjected to further washing with alcohol to remove the excess salt and subjected to further analysis. Now we will see about the protocol for ethanol wash. So the pelleted DNA contains trace amounts of detergents such as SDS and other aromatic chemicals. We have to eliminate this. For that purpose, along with pellet, 1 ml of ice cold 70% ethanol is added, and it was mixed thoroughly by inverting the tube several times. Then it was centrifuged at 10,000 rpm for 5 minutes, and supernatant containing unwanted salt are discarded, and the pellet is inverted and air dried for 5 to 10 minutes. Now carefully take it out, and approximately 50 microliter of tris EDTA buffer or distilled water is added and thoroughly resuspended, and the plasmid DNA sample is stored at 4 degrees Celsius until further use. Thank you.